Welcome back to This Day, and we are here with one of the Brown family members. It's Gregory Brown. Gregory, thanks for coming to the program. You guys have a big show coming up at the Barclay Theater that's going to be on December 1st. We're going to talk about that, but kind of tell me the origin of your family musical concerts and this whole thing that you guys have been doing.
Yeah, it's sort of crazy how it all got started. Each of my siblings and I started playing the piano at age 3. The oldest, Desiree, obviously was first, and then it just sort of went down the line from there. We're very close in age. There are only 6.5 years between the five of us, and we took it pretty seriously from an early age. Eventually ended up going on to study at the Juilliard School in New York. We were all there at the same time, which was fun. We got to go to class with each other and stuff. And then, the inevitable questions after or around college time come, what am I going to do next?
Mhm.
Can we make a career out of this? And, we decided to just pool our efforts, see if we could give it a go with playing music on five pianos together, which is a little wild.
Well, and okay, so help me understand this. Like when you're a kid and you see what I don't know who's the oldest, one of your older siblings playing that. Are you drawn to it, or was it one of those things where like I don't really want to do this, but everybody's doing this, and my mom's making me take piano lessons? What did you kind of get that from anybody? What anybody like? No, this isn't for me, and but okay, I'll go.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both sides. No kid always wants to practice. There's going to need to be, some parental guidance in that. But I do remember actually my very first memory. I must have been 2 because I had not yet started playing the piano. And I remember sitting in the living room listening to my older sisters, the two of them practicing piano and thinking how excited I was to turn 3 because then I was going to be able to play piano like them. So, a little bit of both worlds, right?
A little bit of rivalry, a little bit of excitement about that kind of thing.
That's right.
Okay, so most people, when they grow up with their family, then they go to college and then they have their own life together and they don't see their siblings much. There's got to be some serious challenges for you guys with like never being apart or almost never being apart. You work together, you travel together, you do those things. What's that like when it's not just like some random band members, but your family all the time?
There are certain challenges. We do know, you know, how to push each other's buttons if we really want to. We did learn pretty early on, though, in our career, that if we want this to kind of be a functional group, we have to like the kind of the most important thing is to stay kind to each other. And I think the upside to being in a family group is much higher than any downside because we really understand each other so well. And people find it hard to believe, but we really are each other's best friends. Sometimes it's hard to even get to rehearsal because we're just too busy catching up and chatting and having fun. So, those guys are awesome.
Now, I've never seen or never heard like five pianos on stage at once, all going. What is that experience like? What do people tell you that's like to hear and experience and just kind of be a part of?
Yeah, it's sort of like an orchestra of pianos, and a lot of the music that we play was originally composed for an orchestra. And so we have kind of reworked those pieces to fit the five pianos. It is a lot of sound.
It's a
For
wall of sound coming at you.
exactly. The five of us have to make sure that we're staying within balance, though, because like an orchestra has different qualities of sound with the different instruments. But since we're all on the same instrument, we have to make sure that if you're not the melody, you got to pull back a little bit so that someone else can come through.
So I'm going to take a leap of faith here and say you guys don't travel with your pianos from town to town, and they're set up. So, is there a challenge when you get to a new town and like they're all Steinways, or this one's a Yamaha, and this one isn't quite in tune to the way I like to play? Do you find that there's a different sound and a different kind of thing from different pianos, and is it kind of a learning curve every time you get to a new place and do a show?
It is. It's definitely it's always a learning curve. Fortunately, though, we are Steinway artists, which means that Steinway provides us with pianos wherever we go. And within the different makes of pianos, every instrument has a different sound, a different character. But even within the same make of piano, within Steinway, each instrument has a different character. And so, we have to kind of take some time to get used to the pianos. I feel bad for the piano tuners before each concert because it's hard enough to get one piano in tune with itself, but to get five in tune with each other is a nightmare.
So, oh, so they do have to like they're really on point with each other and that kind of thing. You don't like have like a baritone. I'm such a novice. Like a baritone piano where it's all the same exact. You want it to be as matched as possible.
Yep, exactly. So each of the pianos has to be perfectly in tune with each of the other pianos.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it sounds a little wonky.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about the show. This is what we're here to talk about. You guys are going to be at Barclay on December 1st, and it's 50 fingers, five pianos. How did you guys come up with a Christmas show? Is this your first, or you've been doing these kind of for a while?
We try to do them a few of them every season. We really love the holiday time. That was our favorite time of year growing up and remains so now. And there's just so much fun music around the holidays. So we decided we would put together a program for a Christmas album that we made. And so we've been kind of touring around with a lot of the music from that Christmas album. Some kind of more classical type Christmas pieces, a few more modern ones, which is fun. Hopefully, something fun for everyone.
Okay. Now, do you guys all like put your signature on this? So this is the songs I want to make sure we do, and your sister says one, and your brother, or is there someone who like says, here's how we're going to arrange this, here's what we're going to do, and how does that all come together?
It's nice that we have a an odd number of people in the group because for most of the decisions in the group, how we're going to play a particular piece, that sort of thing, we just take a vote and majority always wins. The one exception to that rule is when it comes to which pieces we're going to play, like which ones we're going to get arranged for five pianos. And that has to be unanimous amongst the five of us because we don't want anyone getting stuck playing something they don't like.
Okay. Have you ever been on the losing end of that vote, and then at the end said, "Told you so," and hey, I was right. We.
Oh, all the time, so often. It's funny because we start politicking with each other, and inevitably somebody is the swing vote, and people are trying to sway that vote. It's sort of like the Supreme Court or something.
Is it kind of like Survivor where you have alliances and we have a voting block over here? You guys are never going to win this thing.
Totally, and then the alliances will shift, and somebody else changes sides. It keeps it fun and interesting.
Absolutely. So what do you get out of like when you do a Christmas show and it's kind of a change, it's a seasonal kind of thing. What's the feel that you have when you walk into this? This is gonna be a Christmas show. Do you want to have the audience come away with like this Christmas spirit? Do you want them to just have the experience of the holidays? What do you hope to translate to on the stage?
Yeah, that's a really great question. The five of us have talked about it, and we kind of want to recreate the feeling that we have every Christmas Eve. We get together and do like a gift exchange, and a really like a nice dinner, and sort of it's like a Christmas party.
Okay.
And so we kind of want it to feel a little bit like that, and a little bit like the vibe that you get when all the lights are off in the living room except for the Christmas tree, and it's sort of glowing and it's peaceful and it feels warm and homey. That's sort of what we're trying to kind of convey through music.
Okay. And that leads me to my next question basically is like you know this music very well. I'm sure you could probably do it with your eyes closed, not looking at the sheet music. So in many times where you've played a piece over and over again, what goes through your mind? Is there like a color or a feeling or a time period that when you play a piece, this is what you feel it through the music instead of like I'm just reading the notes and I'm hitting them.
That's a really fantastic question. And it's one that, my siblings and our colleagues talk about all the time, whether it be at Juilliard or afterward. Um, it's sort of a little bit of a lot of things. Sometimes it's an image that you have in your mind that you're trying to communicate through sound. Sometimes it's more of just a feeling. And sometimes you're not really thinking at all. You're just sort of going and kind of letting the music take you where it wants to go. Um, and sometimes it's a literal story to tell. There's one piece that we're going to play that is based off of a poem, and it kind of follows along the story.
Mhm.
So yeah, a little bit of a lot of different things depending on the piece of music, depending on the night, depending on how you're feeling. But fantastic question, yeah.
Thank you. And on that note, like when you get feedback from the audience that you do a performance like this, do they come up to you and they say, when you played that song, it reminded me of and everybody has that different experience of what that song means to me, what that melody meant to them, right?
Yeah, and each one of those different experiences is valid, is the thing to take away from the piece. And that's one of the things that's so great about art is it really is so subjective, right? Each person kind of experiences it through their own lens and through their own life experiences. But at the same time, there's this like community element to it when you're in a live concert, and everyone's kind of experiencing through their lens together, which is kind
Right.
of cool.
Right. They're all having an individual experience and as this community of people that are enjoying the show. Well, if
Exactly.
they enjoy the show, they can go out to Barclay. It's going to go December 1st. It is a Christmas with the Five Browns. I want to thank you so much, Gregory Brown, for taking the time to talk to us about this and look forward to having you guys out here in Irvine pretty soon.
No problem. We're really, really looking forward to it.
Thanks a lot. You're watching This Day. We'll be right back.